Hey guys, Kenan here, and in this video I will be covering the final set of Sarah Advanced. It's called Pi, and it's where the corners look like this. They are all unoriented, and you have one set that looks like the T orientation and one set that looks like the U orientation. So let's get started. The easiest cases to learn are ones like this, where you have pi for the corners and the U center is solved. This is an example of pure pi, where you can simply do two sledges and it will solve the rest. The first type of this case that you'll want to learn is this. It's where you have pure pi and a U-perm going this way. Now you'll notice that if I hold it in a way that I can do my sledges, I have a solved center on the side. So the solved center could be on this side or this side, but either way, that lets you know that you cannot do a case that I'll show you later. So for these, you're simply going to do double sledge and then the U-perm. It's very simple. The next type of case I'm going to cover looks like this. You may think it's the same as the last one, but it's slightly different. When I hold the corners in such a way that they could be solved in two sledges, you'll notice that I don't have a solved center on R or L. Instead, it's on the back, or it can also be on the front. So for these cases, you are going to hold the opposite center and back, and I always just start with a sledge. So you're always going to rotate towards the solved center after this. So in this case, I noticed that my solved center is here. So I'm going to do a sledge, and then as you can see, I've given myself an easy category 2. So another example of that could be this. Yeah, this. So as you can see, hold the corners like this, and I have it on the front in this case. So once again, I'm going to hold the opposite center and back, sledge, and then easy category 2. So those cases are 3 sledges. The next type of case you can have is pure pi with an H-perm. So the way I solve these is that there's 2 main ways to do this. So I choose to do it in such a way that I solve the corners first, and then get left with the U-perm. You can also do it where you force the H-perm skip case, but I don't like that as much. So I generally solve my corners, Y2, U-perm. For the cases where you have pure pi and a Z-perm, there really isn't a good way to solve it, so I generally just do 2 double sledge, and then for this one, I would cancel the last move of my sledge into the Z-perm. But you really don't have to do that. I didn't for a long time. And the other one is the same idea, just looks like this. So you're going to do double sledge and Z-perm. The next type of case are the category 3 pi cases. So they look like this, with pi in the corners, and the U center will be either on the front, like this, or the back. So in this case, I have it on the front. This is the simplest of all the category 3 pi cases. So as you can see, I have 2 centers solved, so what I'm going to do is hold those in the back and solve my corners. So in this case, I do a sledge. You may also sometimes have to do a hedge, but then what that will do is give me a U-perm. So another example. That's the same one. Okay, so here's another example of what it could look like. So you could have the U-center on the back in this case. So you're going to put your 2 solved centers in the back, like so, and then solve your corners, and then do the U-turn. The next type of case you can get for category 3 pi looks like this. It's where you have 1 solved center and a Z-perm thing. So these 2 are swapped and these 2 are swapped. So what you're going to do is just always hold the U center in back, and then just always start with a sledge, and that will reduce it to one of these cases. Here's another example of the case that I just showed. So as you can see, I have 1 solved center, and I have the Z-perm thing going on here. So once again, hold the U center in back, and you're left with a category 2. The next type of case you can have looks like this. It's where you have category 3 pi, and 2 of these centers are opposites. So as you can see, I've got these 2 opposite centers. So what I'm going to do is hold the U center in front, do a sledge, and then because I have two opposite centers, I know that I'm going to do a sledge immediately after that. And as you can see, I'm going into the category 3 peanut that I taught you in the second video. So once again, the sledge, then category 3 peanut. So another example of that could look like, is that the one I just showed? I don't think so, no. So once again, two opposite centers, and do a sledge, and then you're just canceling into that category 3 peanut. The next type of case you can have looks like this. It's where you have category 3 peanut and only one opposite center. So as you can see, I have this one opposite and no others. So once again, just like the last one I showed, you are going to hold the U center in the front and then do a Y2 opposite of sledge, so hedge. So you start out with U center in front and do a sledge, then Y2 hedge, and then you're once again doing category 3 peanut. So I'll do that a little slower. So one opposite center, sledge, and then you're doing category 3 peanut. Hedge, sledge, sledge. The next type of case you can have is where you have absolutely no opposite centers. So there isn't a great way to solve this, but it's alright. So what you're going to do is see which corner this center on top is connected with. So you can see I have an orange corner and a red corner, so it's connected with the red corner. So what you're going to do is hold that corner in front and then solve the corners from that angle, and that will leave you with a pseudo Z-perm thing. So in this case, this is my alg for it. The next type of case you can have looks like this. It's where you have category 3 pi and triple sledge center oriented permutation. So these two centers are swapped and these two are swapped. So there isn't a great way to do this really. So what I tend to do is do a sledge to solve the centers, and then just my alg for pure peanut. So I end up doing triple sledge, Y prime, double sledge. The other one you can get looks like, come on. No, my bad. This is the other one you can get, so it looks like this. The U center is on front, and it's the same deal. Sledge, 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 and then pure pi. And with that, I have covered all of category 3 high cases. Hopefully this series has helped you out learning advanced. I know some of these videos may seem daunting, and the recognition may be really bad at first, but trust me, it does get better. So once again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.